The alien's eyes widened in utter horror as the primitive human skull fucked its ovipositor, biting clean through its reproductive organ with 32 razor-sharp teeth. The human spat the gushing alien cock chunk on the floor before lunging at the next extraterrestrial in line. "By the stars, what kind of depraved species have we discovered?" Niran gasped, watching the video feed from their botched first contact mission. The two Rakari scientists stared slack-jawed at the gory carnage unfolding on their holodisplay. Bipedal primates, ones whose genome indicated unparalleled adaptability to environments as diverse as scorching deserts and frozen tundras, were ripping apart the Rakari ground forces with their bare hands and teeth. Zolath shook his head. Their technology may be primitive compared to ours, but these humans show an innate viciousness unlike any race we've encountered. Indomitable savagery paired with such genetic malleability, they could destroy us all if they ever make it off their rock. Perhaps, but the humans also display remarkable ingenuity, harnessing the atom despite their fledgling understanding. And I believe their capacity for cooperation could prove just as potent as their ferocity, if properly understood and channeled. Niran enlarged a video clip of two humans on the battlefield. One male dragging his grievously injured female comrade to safety, shielding her with his own body, even as the Rakari rained plasma fire upon them. Just as the clip ended, an emergency notification flashed across the scientists' displays. High priority alert. Remaining ground forces overrun. Fleet in full retreat. Heavy casualties sustained. Terran system placed under Tier 1 threat quarantine until further notice. The two Rakari looked at each other in stunned disbelief. In mere hours, everything they thought they knew about these enigmatic humans had been shattered. Their civilization now faced an existential question. How could they possibly coexist with a species that seemed forged in their god's own violent image? The High Council chamber buzzed with hushed conversations as Niran and Zolath made their way to the center of the room. The two scientists bowed respectfully before the gathered councillors, their expressions a mix of excitement and apprehension. "Esteemed councillors," Niran began, his voice steady and clear, "we come before you today with findings that challenge our understanding of the newly discovered human species." Zolath stepped forward, his eyes scanning the faces of the councillors. "Our initial assessment of the humans as primitive and volatile was not entirely accurate. While they possess a capacity for aggression, they also exhibit remarkable adaptability, ingenuity, and compassion." The councillors leaned forward, their interest piqued by the scientist's words. Varkath, a conservative councillor known for his cautious approach, raised a skeptical eyebrow. "You speak of their potential, but what of their propensity for conflict? Can we trust a species with such a volatile nature?" Niran met Varkath's gaze, his expression earnest. "Every species has its flaws, Councillor Varkath, but the humans have also demonstrated great capacity for self-sacrifice and unity in the face of adversity." Zolath nodded in agreement. "Their religious and philosophical texts speak of a creator deity in whose image they were made. Many of them believe this endows them with a special purpose and responsibility." The council chamber filled with murmurs as the councillors discussed this revelation. Varkath, however, remained unconvinced. "Primitive superstitions, nothing more. We cannot base our assessment on their mythologies." Just then a messenger hurried into the chamber, his face etched with urgency. "Councillors, we have received an urgent transmission from Captain Zorath. The humans have destroyed a Krillian warship that attacked our fleet without provocation." The councillors erupted in shock and confusion, their voices rising in a cacophony of disbelief. The Krillians were notorious for their aggressive nature and advanced military technology, far surpassing that of the Rakari. Varkath stood, his voice cutting through the noise. "How is this possible? The Krillians outmatch us in military might, let alone these primitive humans." The messenger continued, his voice trembling slightly. "Captain Zorath reports that a human vessel much smaller and less advanced than the Krillian ship intercepted the attack and sacrificed itself to shield our fleet. The The human captain then transmitted a message, stating that they could not stand by and watch innocent lives be taken. A heavy silence fell over the council chamber as the implications of this act of selflessness and bravery sank in. Niran seized the moment, his voice filled with conviction. This is what we have been trying to convey. The humans, despite their flaws, possess a spirit that sets them apart. They are willing to lay down their lives for others, even those they have just met. As the councillors deliberated on how to proceed, Niran and Zolath exchanged a knowing glance. They knew that this was just the beginning of unraveling the mystery of humanity's true potential and the profound impact they may have on the galaxy. Following the stunning sacrifice of the human vessel in defense of the Rakari fleet, the High Council moved swiftly to dispatch a diplomatic envoy to Earth. The mission: establish formal relations with this enigmatic species and gain a deeper understanding of their culture and motivations. Niran and Zolath, the two scientists who had first brought the humans to the Council's attention, were chosen to lead the delegation. As their ship touched down on the vibrant blue planet, the Rakari were greeted by a small contingent of human officials, led by Jordan Holmes, a seasoned diplomat with a sharp mind and an affable disposition. "Welcome to Earth," he said warmly, extending his hand in a gesture of friendship. "We are honored to have you here." Over the next several days, Niran and Zolath immersed themselves in the rich tapestry of human culture, marveling at the diversity and complexity of this young civilization. It was during a visit to a museum that Zolath made a startling discovery. "Niran, come look at this," he called out, his voice tinged with excitement. Niran joined him before a sprawling display of human art and literature. "Do you see the common threads woven throughout these works? Self-sacrifice, heroism, the triumph of good over evil. It's as if these ideals are etched into their very souls." Niran, who had been engrossed in a philosophical text, nodded thoughtfully. "I've noticed something similar in their religious beliefs. Though they are quite varied, many seem to center around the notion of a divine creator who imbues them with a higher purpose." Jordan, who had been observing the Rakari's fascination, chimed in. "You're quite perceptive. Many of our greatest achievements have been fueled by the conviction that we were created for a reason, to reach beyond our limitations and strive for something greater than ourselves." Zolath turned to Jordan, his brow furrowed. "But what of your conflicts, your wars? How do you reconcile those with this supposed higher calling?" Jordan sighed, a flicker of sadness crossing his features. "It's an ongoing struggle, to be sure. We are far from perfect, but we try to learn from our missteps and do better. Our history is as much a testament to our resilience and capacity for growth as it is to our flaws." As the conversation deepened, Niran and Zolath began to see humanity in a new light. The human spirit, they realized, was a complex tapestry of strength and vulnerability, of noble aspirations and harsh realities. "There's something I'd like you to see," Jordan said, a glimmer of pride in his eyes. "A historic moment for our species." He led them to a sprawling launch site, where a sleek spacecraft stood ready on the pad. "Our first faster-than-light vessel," he explained, "a step towards the stars and the fulfillment of what many believe to be our destiny." As the ship lifted off, propelled by the dreams and ambitions of an entire world, Niran and Zolath were struck by the palpable sense of unity and purpose that seemed to pervade the human spirit. Perhaps, they mused, the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe lay not in technology or physical might, but in the unshakable belief in one's own potential. Upon their return to Rakar, Niran and Zolath wasted no time in sharing their groundbreaking findings with the scientific community. As they presented the data and insights gathered during their mission to Earth, the auditorium buzzed with excited whispers and fervent discussions. The implications of their discoveries were staggering, challenging long-held assumptions about the nature of life and the universe itself. In the aftermath of their presentation, a tall, slender Rakari with piercing violet eyes approached the two scientists. "Dr. Niran, Dr. Zolath," he said, bowing his head in greeting. I am Dr. Zaleth, a geneticist specializing in comparative xenobiology. Your findings have piqued my interest, and I believe I may have stumbled upon something extraordinary. Niran and Zolath exchanged a curious glance before turning their attention back to Zaleth. Please, Dr. Zaleth, Niran said, do share your discovery with us. Zaleth's eyes sparkled with excitement as he began to explain. I've been analyzing the human genome in light of your observations, and I've found a sequence that is unlike anything we've encountered in any other species. It appears to be the key to their remarkable adaptability and resilience, as if their genetic code has been specifically engineered to overcome any obstacle. Kaolath's brow furrowed. A mix of intrigue and skepticism etched upon his face. Engineered by whom? Are you suggesting that humans were created by some higher power, Dr. Zaleth? The geneticist hesitated, fully aware of the controversial nature of his findings. I cannot say for certain, he admitted, but the evidence points to a level of complexity and purpose that goes beyond mere chance or random evolution. Niran, his mind racing with the implications, recalled the conversations he and Zolath had shared with Jordan Holmes back on Earth. The humans have long believed that they were created in the image of their deity, he mused aloud. What if there is some truth to that belief? As word of Zaleth's discovery spread throughout the Rakari scientific community, a fierce debate erupted. Some embraced the idea that humans were the product of divine creation, while others dismissed it as mere coincidence or wishful thinking. The controversy quickly escalated, reaching the highest levels of Rakari society and prompting the High Council to call for further investigation. Amidst the turmoil, Jordan Holmes arrived on Rakar as Earth's first ambassador. He found himself at the center of a cultural and scientific upheaval, with Rakari from all walks of life clamoring for his insights and opinions on the matter. In a private meeting with Niran and Zolath, Jordan shared his perspective. I don't claim to have all the answers, he confessed, his voice steady and sincere, but I do know that our belief in a higher purpose has driven us to achieve great things. Whether we were truly created in God's image or not, the idea itself has shaped our destiny. Niran, deeply moved by Jordan's words, proposed a joint research initiative between human and Rakari scientists to unravel the mysteries of the human genome. Zolath, though still grappling with his own uncertainties, agreed that collaboration was the best way forward. As the two species began to work together, pooling their knowledge and resources, they slowly came to realize that their differences may hold the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe. The true nature of humanity's origins, they understood, could have profound implications not only for their own species, but for all sentient life throughout the cosmos. In the bustling research facility on Rakar, Dr. Zaleth's laboratory hummed with activity as he and Dr. Lena Patel pored over the latest findings from their joint initiative. The soft glow of holographic displays cast an ethereal light upon their faces, illuminating the excitement and wonder in their eyes. Dr. Patel, come take a look at this, Zaleth called out, his voice trembling with barely contained enthusiasm. The pattern we've discovered within the human genome, it's unlike anything I've ever seen before. Lena stepped closer, her brow furrowed in concentration as she studied the intricate web of data before them. It's remarkable, she breathed, tracing her finger along the shimmering lines of code. It's almost as if it's been designed with a specific purpose in mind. Zaleth nodded, his gaze fixed upon the display. And that's not all. This pattern, it bears a striking resemblance to an ancient Rakari prophecy, one that speaks of a species born from the stars, carrying the essence of creation within their very being. Lena's eyes widened, her mind racing with the implications of Zaleth's words. A species destined to bring balance to the galaxy and usher in a new era of enlightenment, she murmured, recalling the words of the prophecy she had studied so intently. Just then, the laboratory doors slid open, revealing the familiar figures of Niran and Zolath. The two Rakari scientists strode forward, their expressions a mix of curiosity and apprehension. Dr. Zaleth, Dr. Patel, Niran greeted, his voice warm yet tinged with an undercurrent of urgency. We've been told you've made a significant discovery? Zalith turned to face his colleagues, his eyes shining with a newfound sense of purpose. Indeed we have, Dr. Niran. The human DNA sequence, it matches the description in the prophecy almost perfectly. I believe it refers to humanity itself. Zolath, ever the skeptic, raised a questioning eyebrow. But prophecies are often vague and open to interpretation, he countered, his voice laced with doubt. How can we be sure this isn't mere coincidence? Lena stepped forward, her expression resolute. The prophecy also mentions specific events that have already come to pass, she explained, her voice steady and clear. The humans' sacrifice to save the Rakari fleet, the establishment of diplomatic relations between our species. It's as if our two races were destined to meet. As the weight of Lena's words settled upon the room, a heavy silence descended, broken only by the gentle hum of the holographic displays. Niran and Zolath exchanged a meaningful glance, their minds grappling with the profound implications of the discovery. We must inform the others, Niran finally spoke, his voice filled with a quiet determination. This knowledge, it will change everything. And so the news of the prophecy spread like wildfire, igniting a fierce debate among both humans and Rakari alike. Some saw it as irrefutable proof of humanity's divine origins, a testament to their unique place in the cosmos. Others viewed it as a clarion call to action, a reminder of the weighty responsibility that came with being fashioned in the image of a higher power. Amidst the swirling maelstrom of opinions and beliefs, one figure emerged as a beacon of calm and reason: Jordan Holmes. The human diplomat, now a respected figure in both human and Rakari circles, took it upon himself to organize a series of dialogues, seeking to explore the philosophical and spiritual ramifications of the discovery. In a private conversation with Niran and Zolath, Jordan shared his thoughts, his voice soft yet filled with conviction. Perhaps the true meaning of the prophecy is not that we are inherently superior, he mused, his eyes distant and thoughtful, but rather that we have been given a unique opportunity to shape the future of the galaxy. It is up to us to use our gifts wisely, and for the benefit of all. As the dialogues continued, a consensus began to emerge, a shared understanding that transcended the boundaries of species and culture. Humans and Rakari alike came to see their fateful meeting not as a chance occurrence, but as a pivotal moment in the history of the universe itself. They realized that by working together and learning from one another, they might just be able to fulfill the prophecy and bring about a new era of peace and understanding. Niran, his spirit lifted by this newfound sense of purpose, put forth a bold proposal: a joint human-Rakari expedition to explore the far reaches of the galaxy, seeking out other civilizations and sharing the message of unity and cooperation. Zolath, his skepticism tempered by the weight of the evidence before him, agreed that this might just be the best way to put the prophecy into action. And so, as preparations for the expedition began, the humans and Rakari found themselves standing on the precipice of a new chapter in their shared history, one that held the potential to reshape the very fabric of the cosmos itself. The air crackled with a palpable sense of anticipation, a feeling that they were on the cusp of something truly monumental. As the sleek silver spacecraft carrying the joint human-Rakari expedition glided through the inky expanse of space, Niran's eyes widened at the sight of the Quell homeworld looming before them. The planet was a swirling mass of deep purples and shimmering golds, its surface etched with intricate patterns that seemed to dance in the starlight. Zolath leaned forward, his voice tinged with awe. "Have you ever seen anything like it, Niran?" Niran shook his head, unable to tear his gaze away from the mesmerizing view. Never. The Quell must be truly ancient to have achieved such beauty and complexity. As the spacecraft descended through the planet's atmosphere, the expedition members found themselves escorted to a towering, crystalline structure that seemed to grow organically from the landscape itself. Inside, they were greeted by a group of tall, ethereal beings, their skin a shimmering silver and their eyes a piercing violet. One of the beings, who introduced himself as Xenos, stepped forward, his voice resonating through the chamber. Welcome, travelers from afar. We have long awaited this moment to meet the species that has so captivated our interest. Niran bowed his head in respect, his heart racing with anticipation. We are honored to be here, Xenos. Your people have been observing us for some time. Xenos nodded, a hint of a smile playing at the corners of his mouth. Indeed, we have watched as humanity has struggled and thrived, their resilience and adaptability setting them apart from any other species we have encountered. Zolath, his curiosity piqued, leaned forward. And what have you gleaned from your observations? Do you believe there is a greater purpose behind humanity's existence? Xenos paused, his violet eyes seeming to pierce through to the very core of their beings. We cannot say for certain, but we have long believed that the universe itself is imbued with a cosmic intelligence, a creative force that guides the evolution of all things. It is possible that humanity, with its unique qualities, is a manifestation of that force. Niran felt a shiver run down his spine at the implications of Xenos's words. And what of the prophecy that speaks of humanity's role in shaping the future of the galaxy? Do you believe there is truth to it? Xenos smiled enigmatically, his voice taking on an almost ethereal quality. Prophecies are but glimpses of potential futures, shaped by the choices and actions of those involved. It is up to you and the alliances you forge to determine the path ahead. As the meeting drew to a close, Niran and Zolath found themselves deep in thought, their minds grappling with the profound insights they had gained. They realized that the true significance of humanity's origins may lie not in the past, but in the future they chose to create. As they boarded their spacecraft once more, Niran turned to Zolath, his voice filled with a quiet determination. Perhaps the Quell are right. Maybe the question is not whether humans were created by a divine being, but rather what they choose to do with the gifts they have been given. Zolath nodded, his own resolve strengthening. And maybe our role as their allies and partners is to help them navigate the challenges ahead, to ensure that they use their potential for the greater good. With renewed purpose, the expedition forged ahead, eager to seek out new worlds and civilizations, each encounter a chance to learn, grow, and shape the destiny of the galaxy. The story of humanity's origins may have remained shrouded in mystery, but one thing had become abundantly clear. The future was theirs to write, and the choices they made would echo through the ages. The expedition's comm system crackled to life, jolting Niran and Zolath from their contemplation of the mysteries surrounding humanity's origins. The voice on the other end was high-pitched and desperate, the universal translator struggling to convey the depth of emotion behind the words. Please, if anyone can hear us, we need help. Our planet is in grave danger. Niran exchanged a concerned glance with Zolath before responding. This is the Rakari human expedition vessel. We hear you. What's the situation? A massive asteroid is headed straight for our planet. We don't have the technology to stop it. If it hits... The voice trailed off, the unspoken horror hanging in the air. Zolath pulled up the coordinates on the ship's display. They're not far. We should be able to reach them in a matter of hours. Niran nodded, his mind already racing through the possibilities. Inform the Allori that we're on our way, and alert the rest of the crew. We're going to need all hands on deck for this one. As the ship dropped out of hyperspace near the Allori homeworld, the true scale of the impending catastrophe became clear. The asteroid filled the view screen, a behemoth of rock and ice hurtling through space on a collision course with the planet below. By the stars, Zolath whispered, his eyes wide. It's even bigger than we thought, and moving so fast. Jordan Holmes, the human commander, stepped forward, his brow furrowed in concentration. We need to act quickly. Even with our advanced tech, stopping that thing won't be easy. The bridge fell silent as the crew considered their options, the weight of millions of lives hanging in the balance. Then Jordan spoke again, his voice steady and determined. What if we use our ship's energy core to create a gravitational field around the asteroid? We could use the field to alter its trajectory, guide it away from the planet. Zolath frowned, running the calculations in his head. It could work, but, Jordan, that would mean someone would have to stay behind on the ship to maintain the field until the asteroid is clear. It's a suicide mission. Jordan met Zolath's gaze, his eyes filled with a quiet resolve. I know, that's why I'm volunteering. I have the most experience with this type of technology, and I can't ask any of you to make that sacrifice. Niran stepped forward, placing a hand on Jordan's shoulder. Jordan, you can't. We'll find another way. But Jordan shook his head, a sad smile playing at the corners of his mouth. This is what we came out here to do, Niran, to use our abilities to help others, to make a difference. If this is my destiny, then I accept it gladly. As Jordan prepared for his final mission, Niran and Zolath could only watch in stunned silence. They had known humans to be brave, but this was something else entirely, a willingness to lay down one's life for the sake of others, to put the needs of the many before the needs of the self. With a heavy heart, Niran watched as Jordan's ship detached from the main vessel, a tiny speck against the looming bulk of the asteroid. As the gravitational field sprang to life around the rock, Niran found himself whispering a prayer to gods he had long since stopped believing in. At first, the asteroid's path seemed unchanged, its momentum carrying it inexorably towards the planet's surface. But slowly, almost imperceptibly, it began to shift, the gravitational field exerting its influence. Jordan's ship strained against the immense forces at play, its energy core pushed to the very limit. And then, with a suddenness that took Niran's breath away, the asteroid veered off course, missing the planet by a scant 1,000 kilometers. A cheer went up from the expedition crew, echoed by the joyous cries of the Elori on the planet below. But for Niran and Zolath, the moment was bittersweet. They had just witnessed the very essence of humanity, a shining example of the incredible potential that lay within the species that some believed to be made in God's image. And yet, that potential had come at a terrible cost. As they watched Jordan's ship, now drained of power, drift slowly into the void, Niran found himself grappling with the profound implications of what they had just seen. If this was what humans were capable of, what other wonders and sacrifices might the future hold? In the somber silence that followed Jordan's sacrifice, Niran and Zolath found themselves grappling with a profound sense of loss and admiration. They had witnessed the very essence of humanity's potential, an unwavering commitment to the greater good, even at the cost of one's own life. As they prepared to continue their journey, heavy-hearted yet inspired, an unexpected transmission crackled through the ship's communication system. The voice that emerged was ancient and ethereal, resonating with a wisdom that seemed to transcend time itself. Greetings, humans and Rakari. We are the ancients, the ones who seeded life throughout the cosmos eons ago. We have observed your actions and your growth, and we believe the time has come for us to meet face to face. We invite you to our hidden sanctuary, a place no outsider has ever been allowed to enter. Niran and Zolath exchanged a glance of astonishment and curiosity. The ancients were the stuff of legends, whispered about in the oldest Rakari texts, but never confirmed to exist. Lena Patel, the newly appointed human commander, stepped forward, her eyes gleaming with determination. We accept your invitation, ancients. It would be an honor to learn from you and uncover the secrets of the universe. As their ship approached the coordinates provided by the ancients, a shimmering portal appeared before them, pulsing with an energy that seemed to defy the very laws of physics. They passed through the portal and found themselves in a realm unlike anything they had ever seen before. Towering structures of crystalline beauty rose up from the ground, their surfaces etched with intricate patterns that seemed to tell the story of the universe itself. A hooded figure emerged from the shadows, his robes shimmering with an iridescent light. Welcome, travelers. I am Zephyr, a representative of the ancients. Please, follow me to the Chamber of Revelation, where the secrets of the cosmos await. As they walked through the sanctuary, Niran and Zolath marveled at the wonders that surrounded them. Intricate holograms depicted the birth of stars and the evolution of species, while ancient artifacts pulsed with a power that seemed to whisper of forgotten knowledge. Lena, her eyes wide with wonder, couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and humility in the presence of such timeless wisdom. Finally, they reached the Chamber of Revelation, a vast space filled with a soft, pulsing light. Zephyr turned to face them, his eyes glowing with an inner fire. "We have watched you from afar, humans and Rakari alike, and we have seen the potential that lies within you. But there is one species that has captured our attention above all others, the humans, with their indomitable spirit and their capacity for self-sacrifice." Lena, her brow furrowed with curiosity, asked, "Why do you say that? What sets humans apart?" Zephyr smiled, his voice filled with a gentle reverence. "It is because long ago, when we seeded life throughout the galaxy, we imbued certain species with specific traits and abilities. The humans were given the gift of free will, the ability to choose their own path, to shape their own destiny. And with that free will comes the potential for great good, as well as great evil." Niran, intrigued by the revelation, inquired, "So Jordan's sacrifice and the sacrifices of other humans throughout history are a result of this free will?" Zephyr nodded, his gaze distant and thoughtful. "Yes, but it is more than that. The humans possess a spark of the divine within them, a reflection of the creators who set the universe in motion. This spark, combined with their free will, gives them the power to shape the very fabric of reality." Zolath, ever the skeptic, raised a questioning eyebrow. "But how can we be sure that this is true? What proof do we have of humanity's divine origin?" With a wave of his hand, Zephyr conjured a hologram before them, its light pulsing with an otherworldly energy. It depicted a double helix, the structure of DNA, but with a glowing core that seemed to throb with life itself. "This," Zephyr explained, "is the spark of the divine that lies within human DNA. It is the source of their incredible potential and the reason why they have been able to achieve so much in such a short time." Lena, humbled by the weight of the revelation, could only stare in wonder. She realized that the responsibility that came with this knowledge was immense, and that humanity must use its gifts wisely if it was to fulfill its true potential. As the meeting with the ancients drew to a close, Niran and Zolath found themselves filled with a newfound sense of purpose. They knew that they must continue to work alongside humanity, to guide and support them as they navigated the challenges ahead. For in the end, the fate of the galaxy may depend on the choices that humanity made and the legacy they chose to leave behind. As the expedition prepared to depart the sanctuary of the ancients, Niran and Zolath found themselves deep in conversation about the profound revelations they had just witnessed. "Can you believe it, Zolath? The very essence of the divine woven into the fabric of human DNA," Niran mused, his voice tinged with awe. Zolath nodded, his brow furrowed in contemplation. "It explains so much about their resilience, their adaptability, but with such power comes great responsibility." Lena, overhearing their discussion, chimed in, "That's why we must return to Earth, to share this knowledge with our people. They deserve to know the truth about their origins and their potential." As the ship navigated through the vast expanse of space, a sudden distress signal caught their attention. Lena, her fingers flying across the control panel, worked to isolate the source of the transmission. "It's weak and heavily distorted," she reported, her eyes narrowing in concentration. "But I think I can make out a single word, Kalar." Niran and Zolath exchanged a look of surprise and concern. The Kylar, a species of highly advanced energy beings, were known for their mastery over matter and energy at the subatomic level, but they were also notoriously reclusive, having withdrawn from galactic affairs eons ago. "The Kalar, reaching out for help," Zolath wondered aloud. Something must be terribly wrong. Lena, her human intuition kicking in, sensed that there was more to the situation than met the eye. "I think we should investigate. If the Kylar are in trouble, we can't just ignore their plea." Niran and Zolath, though hesitant about interfering in the affairs of such a powerful species, couldn't help but admire Lena's compassion and sense of duty. It was a trait they had come to associate with humanity, a reflection of the divine spark within them. As they approached the Kalar homeworld, they were greeted by a sight unlike anything they had ever encountered. The planet was engulfed in a massive energy storm, swirling vortexes of raw power that crackled and pulsed with an eerie intensity. "By the stars," Niran breathed, his eyes wide with astonishment. "I've never seen anything like it." Lena, her gaze fixed on the maelstrom before them, shook her head. "This isn't natural. Something has gone terribly wrong here." Zolath, ever the cautious one, raised a concern. "We can't just go barging in there. The energy levels are off the charts. It could tear our ship apart." But Lena was adamant. "We have to try. The Kalar need our help, and we can't turn our backs on them." After much deliberation, they agreed to send a small team to the surface, equipped with specialized energy shields to protect them from the raging storm. As they descended through the tempest, the true scale of the devastation became apparent. Towering structures of pure energy, once marvels of Kalar engineering, now flickered and wavered like candles in the wind. The very ground beneath their feet seemed to shift and warp, as if the laws of physics themselves were coming undone. And then, amidst the chaos, they saw them. A group of Kalar, their luminous forms dimmed and weakened by the storm that raged around them. One of them, a being that pulsed with a faint, silvery light, reached out to the team with a telepathic plea. "I am Lux of the Kalar High Council," the being transmitted, its thoughts heavy with despair. "We have made a terrible mistake. In our arrogance, we sought to harness the power of a supermassive black hole, believing we could bend its energy to our will. But we were wrong, and now our folly threatens to consume us all." Lena, her heart aching for the Kalar's plight, stepped forward. "We're here to help. Tell us what we can do." As Lux explained the situation, the true gravity of the crisis became clear. The Kalar's tampering with the black hole had destabilized the very fabric of space-time in their corner of the galaxy. If left unchecked, the disturbance would spread like a cancer, unraveling the foundations of reality itself. Lena, drawing upon the knowledge imparted to her by the ancients, had a sudden flash of inspiration. What if we could create an energy containment field, a sort of cosmic bandage to stabilize the black hole and heal the damage to space-time? Lux, intrigued by the idea, tilted his head. It could work, but the scale of such a field would be beyond anything we have ever attempted. It would require a level of control over energy that even we Kalar have not mastered. Lena, her eyes sparkling with determination, smiled. "But you haven't had access to the divine spark, the essence of creation itself. With your technology and our understanding of the power within us, I believe we can do this." And so, in a race against time, human and Kalar worked side by side, pooling their knowledge and resources to construct a device capable of generating a containment field of unprecedented strength. Lena, her brow furrowed in concentration, poured every ounce of her creativity and intuition into the design, while the Kalar engineers marveled at the ingenuity of this remarkable human. As the final components fell into place, Lux turned to Lena, his form pulsing with a newfound hope. "It is ready, but the activation will require a tremendous amount of energy, more than our systems can safely handle in their current state." Lena, without hesitation, placed her hand on the activation panel. "I'll do it. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that the power within us, the divine spark, is capable of incredible things." With a deep breath, she focused her mind and spirit, reaching deep within herself to tap into the wellspring of power that flowed through her very being. The device began to hum and vibrate, its energy levels climbing higher and higher as Lena poured her essence into its core. And then, with a blinding flash of light, the containment field sprang to life, a shimmering dome of pure energy that enveloped the black hole and the surrounding space. The storm that had raged across the Kalar homeworld began to dissipate, the twisted fabric of reality slowly knitting itself back together under the gentle influence of the field. Lux, his form glowing with renewed strength, turned to Lena, his thoughts suffused with gratitude. "You have saved us, human. We thought ourselves the masters of energy, but it is clear that we still have much to learn from your kind." As the expedition prepared to depart, their mission complete, Niran and Zolath couldn't help but marvel at the incredible feat they had just witnessed. Lena, exhausted but triumphant, stood before them, a living embodiment of the power and potential that lay within the human spirit. "It's not just our divine origin," Niran remarked, his voice filled with a newfound respect. "It's their compassion, their creativity, their unwavering determination in the face of impossible odds. That is the true gift of humanity." Zolath, his eyes shining with a renewed sense of purpose, nodded in agreement. "And it is a gift that we must nurture and protect as we continue our journey through the stars." And so, with the knowledge of their own potential burning brightly within them, the expedition set forth once more, ready to face whatever challenges and wonders the universe had in store. The Kalar, once a reclusive and enigmatic species, now stood as a testament to the transformative power of human compassion and ingenuity, a shining example of what could be achieved when the divine spark within was allowed to flourish. As the expedition ship settled into orbit around Earth, Niran and Zolath peered out the viewport, their eyes widening at the scene before them. Where once vibrant blue oceans and verdant continents had gleamed, now angry red scars crisscrossed the planet's surface. Plumes of smoke rose from countless fires, obscuring entire regions in a haze of destruction. Lena gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. What happened here? How could humanity have done this to itself? Niran placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "The divine spark is a powerful force, Lena. It grants humans the capacity for great creation, but also terrible destruction." Zolath nodded grimly. "Your people must learn to balance the light and darkness within, to master the gift they've been given." Tears welled in Lena's eyes as she watched the devastation unfold below. Cities lay in ruins, once mighty skyscrapers reduced to rubble. Refugee columns snaked across barren landscapes, fleeing the chaos and carnage. "I have to go down there," Lena whispered, her voice trembling. "I can't abandon them, not now, not when they need guidance more than ever." Niran and Zolath exchanged a glance, worry etched on their alien features, but they saw the determination burning in Lena's eyes, the unshakable resolve that had carried humanity through countless trials before. "We'll come with you," Niran said softly. "You don't have to face this alone." Together, the three companions boarded a shuttle and descended through the war-torn skies. As they landed amidst the rubble of a shattered city, the true scale of the conflict became clear. Buildings lay toppled like discarded toys, fires raging unchecked through once thriving neighborhoods. The acrid stench of smoke and death hung heavy in the air. But even amidst the devastation, small miracles bloomed. A group of survivors worked together to pull a trapped child from the wreckage, their faces streaked with grime and tears. An old woman shared her meager rations with a starving family, a smile of compassion on her weathered face. "There is still hope," Lena murmured, watching these acts of kindness. "Even in our darkest moments, humanity's light endures." Niran and Zolath could only watch in amazement as Lena moved among the survivors, offering words of comfort and encouragement. Her presence seemed to ignite a spark in their weary hearts, reminding them of the strength that lay within. As news of Lena's return spread, leaders from the warring factions began to gather, drawn by her message of unity and shared purpose. With Niran and Zolath at her side, Lena worked tirelessly to bridge the divides, using the wisdom gained from their cosmic journey to heal the wounds of war. Days turned into weeks, and slowly, painfully, a fragile peace began to take hold. Weapons were laid down, replaced by tools of rebuilding and renewal, but the scars ran deep, and the road ahead would be long. On the eve of their departure, Lena stood amidst the ruins, her eyes filled with a bittersweet mix of sorrow and hope. "I thought we were perfect once. That being made in God's image meant we had all the answers. But I see now that it's our flaws, our struggles, that define us. It's the choices we make in the face of adversity that show our true worth." Niran laid a gentle hand on her arm, his alien features softening with understanding. "Your people have a great journey ahead of them, Lena, but they also have a great strength within. The divine spark will guide them, if they let it. Zolath nodded, his eyes fixed on the horizon. Humanity's story is still being written. The legacy they leave behind will be shaped by the decisions they make, the courage they show in the face of darkness. As the expedition ship rose into the sky, leaving behind a world scarred but unbroken, Lena felt a flicker of hope in her heart. The war had shown her the depths of human frailty, but also the heights of their resilience, and she knew, with a certainty that burned like a flame, that as long as the divine spark endured, humanity would never stop striving for a better tomorrow. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.